Today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. I want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for the generous donation of all this beautiful black cow manure that we use in our video today, and it's made a tremendous success in our garden. I've been using black cow for many years, ever since 1980, and it's always made a tremendous difference in my garden, and I've been very pleased with our product. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Black Gold, for sponsoring our channel. Well, welcome to part 2 of our Blackberry series. It's been 4 months since we planted our blackberries, so I thought it was time to share with you a little bit about their progress. We'll be right back after the break. Well, welcome back, friends. Our Sweetie Pie blackberries were doing really well for the first 4 months. Lots of growth, lots of beautiful foliage, even had some little buds fixing to flower and open up and getting ready to actually start producing some blackberries for us. However, the deer love our blackberries. So they came out here the last couple of nights and just devastated and decimated the plants. They ate all the foliage, they tore up a bunch of the limbs, stepped on some of the plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the deer deterrent that I used on the south orchard over there on our fruit trees, you know, with the motion activated sprinkler system. That worked great. So we ordered some more of those, got them in yesterday, so I'm going to put them together and get the system laid out right here so I can protect the blackberries as well as the blackberries or azaleas, a mulberry tree. They're eating everything out here, so I was really surprised being this close to the house that they come out here, but they're actually in our front yard 20 feet from our door now, so it's not just a couple of deer. I mean, I counted 16 deer out in the north parcel just the other morning, so there's a lot of deer around here. So let me get these sprinkler systems put together and let's get out here and get some protection on these things, because I ain't never going to get no blackberries like this. So let's get to work. Okay, they're all working. Bing Bing has set a few of them off over there so they don't come on, you know, every time you walk in front of them. They're set to only come on about 3 times a minute. Here's the one for the raspberries. Let's see if I can get it to hit me. Oh, yep, it got me. So that's all working. Everything seems to be online. Bing Bing, come over here and leave that alone. Here's the one from Nancy's azaleas. Then you just walk in front of it, it hits that one. It's all fired up, all ready to go. So let's see if I can get the blackberries to recover in the days ahead, and we'll be back as we show you some of the blackberries feeling a little better, where they're looking a little better. So we'll see you soon. The motion activated sprinkler systems are awesome. Couldn't ask for a better product. The thing is working great. All 8 of our blackberries have recovered from the deer. They're doing fantastic. They flushed all back out. They're doing great. We watched some of the game camera footage of the deer walking up into these sprinklers, and buddy, when they get hit with that sprinkler, they just don't sashay along and walk off gradually. They are full speed away from this place. They cannot stand to be hit with that water, so it is a fantastic deterrent. I highly recommend it. It's working great on here. It's working great on our fruit orchard. I'm going to be getting some more of them, but the blackberries are doing fantastic. They've made a good flush of growth back out. Every one of these didn't have hardly nary a stitch of leaf left on them after they got through, but they're coming out just right. So I'm happy with it. We'll keep our eye on it in the days ahead, and we'll watch how these progress as you know, summer moves on deeper into summer here. So we'll see you soon. Well, our sweetie pie blackberries have been growing for 18 months now, and as you can see, they're starting to get some good long canes, nice long vines on them now, and that's a good sign. I wanted to let these grow the first couple of years just to get established. Then this fall, this winter, I'm going to cut these canes down and shape them up into a nice heavy part of the beam of the cane, so when they flush out next spring, they'll be able to produce a lot of the berries. Now, you can look up close on the tips of these and you can see they're already starting to put on some small blackberries this year, right on the very ends. But next year's the year I'm looking for. So I'll prune them down real good this winter and this fall and winter, and next spring in 2021, we should be able to get a nice flush of growth, lots of blooms. We'll be back next year after I prune these down, and we'll watch these until we can actually come out here and make us a blackberry cobbler. So we'll see you next year. Well, happy new day, friends. Here it is, March of 2021. Our sweetie pie blackberries have been growing for a little over 2 years. They've gotten to the point now where they're at the height and the maturity level that we can actually start to prune these things down, install a trellis down the line, and try to tie them to a trellis. Remember, these blackberries are the thornless blackberries, so they're not like bramble. They're more like plants with just long runners, and they don't really climb. They want to really, what they want to do is run across the ground flat. So I have to force them up onto a trellis, and the only way to do that is I string 2 wires, and I take the canes and I tie them to the trellis, and we'll prune them back so that they will flush out and make the berries. And from here on out, you know, every spring we'll just come out and we'll cut. As you can see, there's some dead wood in here. We trim out the white stuff, the dead stuff. We'll trim that out and get it down to the good canes that will survive through the winter, and we'll keep working it onto the trellis, and pretty soon it's gonna be blackberry cobbler time, right? Right. Okay. So anyway, we got some work to do. Let's get started on getting this thing put together, and the sooner we get this done, the better. So let's get started.
Here we go, Bing Bing.
We got the trellis wires strung up, and they're good and tight, heavy 9-gauge bracing wire, turnbuckled on the end, so they ain't gonna go nowhere. They'll support this right here for years and years. But here's what I wanted to show you. Here's a cane, you know, this is 2-year-old cane, and it's getting pretty long. And if you can see on the end here, you can see where it's starting to flush out some new growth, and that will grow out this year and make some berries on the end. Okay, however, if I come back and I cut it back to where it's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to cut off about 1 foot or so of this branch just in front of this new node that's coming up, just like that. And then we're going to tie it off to the new trellis. Nancy's got some string right there, and there's nothing rocket science about it. Just tie just a plain old granny knot. You want to try to tie it onto the thing kind of tight. It's not going to hurt it to be on there tight, believe me. You don't want it flopping around. There you go. Now that cane is on, and that cane will produce a new growth starting right here on the end. It might have another one here. It may have another one here. It gets several right on down the road. Okay, so what we want to do is tie all these canes up and trim them back to where they're onto the trellis nice and tight, and they have room to flush out and make some new growth. Okay, let's get the rest of these on here.
Yeah, so it's going to produce a lot more.
Produce a lot more, 3 or 4 times more berries if you don't harvest it, if you don't clip it, then you won't harvest very much. But if you clip it back like I'm showing you, you get 3 or 4 times more than you normally would. Okay? Well, there we go. We got the Sweetie Pie Blackberries set up for the whole year. So we won't have to do any of this until this time next year. And we've got everything mulched in. I guess you noticed me putting down the mulch. The reason for that is 2 reasons. The first is weed suppression. I want to try to keep the that weed pressure down off of these plants. And the second reason is I want to try to retain some moisture out here, you know, for the days ahead that's coming in the summer, because I mean it gets up upper 90s down here, you know, that's every day. So we want to be able to keep these plants moisturized and wetted down. I usually wet them down in the morning, and I usually just water them, you know, 2 or 3 times a week at the most. You know, they hold pretty good. They're pretty drought tolerant. So anyway, we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll watch the further development of our Sweetie Pie Blackberries for my Sweetie Pie in the house. See you then. But before we got started, I wanted to explain one more thing to you so that you knew what to look for when you grow blackberries for yourself. I think I mentioned earlier in the video, I can't remember if I did or not, but of course these Sweetie Pie Blackberries, they're perennial, so it takes 2 years. And first year, when you grow these, you're going to get these long canes right here, and this is called a Primocane. This is the first year cane. And if you look at this one, you can see it's beautiful, it's long, it's full of leaves on it, but there's no fruit. That's the Primocane. Now over the winter, this will go dormant, and come next spring, this cane will still be nice and healthy, and me and Nancy will come out here and we'll tie it to the trellis, and next spring it'll become a floricane. That means it's the second year, and the floricane is the one that's going to produce the fruit. So what I'll do is I'll cut the end of this off next spring so that other branches will come up off the floricane, and they'll make fruit. So here's what a primocane looks like. Here's what a floricane looks like. If you look at it, you'll see that it has a long, nice, beautiful green cane on it. I cut the end of it off, and then all along the way, it starts to sprout out new little branches that produce the fruit. So this is the 2 differences. This is a primocane, and this is a floricane. So I just wanted you to realize that. So if you're growing it in the first year, you get all this beautiful foliage and all these canes, and you go, man, I didn't get a single blackberry. It's because they're perennial. So you'll get them next year. So anyway, let's get started. We got what's left of the blackberries to pick, and Nancy can put them in the freezer and make a smoothie. So let's get started. Well, good morning, friends. Our blackberry bushes are really doing pretty good. The weather has started to warm up now. It's May the 1st, 2021 here in Florida. And we trimmed these down a few weeks back and pruned them and got them set for the summer, and the warmer weather has hit, and that's just what they wanted. The plants are flushed out. They're attached to the stringers, to the trellis really well. You can look up close, you can see plenty of white blooms on here, and if you look even past the blooms, you'll see lots of brand new little Sweetie Pie blackberries coming to life on the plants. So this year ought to be the year that Nancy gets to get her a couple of bowlfuls of Sweetie Pie blackberries toward, you know, later in the summer. I think that from here on out, these plants will produce more and more each year. I think we've got just about the perfect amount for me and her. Maybe just her, because she really likes them. So anyway, I'm happy for her. I'm glad she's gonna get all the sweetie pie blackberries that she wants. So we'll be back in the days ahead and we'll take another look at the progress of these beautiful plants. We'll see you soon. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since we talked to you and showed you an update on the sweetie pie blackberries, and they've really put out a lot of berries and a lot of green ones, and some of them are actually starting to turn orange and starting to turn red and then starting to turn black.
Yep.
So anyway, come on up and take a close look at a couple of these. You can see how they're doing. Looking really good. We're looking forward to getting these things harvested. They'll start to come in 1, 2, 3 at a time. Then next thing you know, they're 5, 10, 15 at a time, then 20 and 30 at a time. So it kind of ramps up as we go. Here's a couple that Nancy already picked. I was going to see, you think we need to do a taste test on these?
Oh, yes, please.
Let's get that up in there, see how.
And you got one too.
You go ahead.
You got,
To burst the flavor?
Oh my goodness, it's
There
so
you
sweet.
go.
No, you
I
eat.
can't bring myself to eat it knowing how much you like it.
No, you eat some too. It's good. You got to taste it, huh? It's so good. It's the best sweet. It's the best blackberries I ever tasted.
I have to admit,
Oh my gosh,
that's pretty good.
it is good.
I mean, you'll enjoy that in your smoothies, ain't you?
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, we'll be back in the days ahead when Nancy can come out here and get her a couple bowlfuls. Several of the bushes are really performing now, so it's getting close, and it's been a long wait and a lot of work, but I think it'll be worth it because we'll have this from now on. So
Definitely.
we'll see you back here in just a few more weeks, and we'll take another look at how pretty these things are. See you then.
All right.
Well, good morning, friends. Started getting several harvests since the last time we spoke, and we can put one in your mouth. Pretty sweet, huh?
Oh yeah.
We've been having a lot of rain, so that makes them even better.
Yeah,
But,
even some fell. These are they're perfect.
Yep,
This is still fresh.
nice and plump.
Oh
that's
my gosh.
that's the way we want them. So
So
we'll
good.
get a load of these, and you can start making some smoothies, huh?
One for me, one for the basket.
Here's the ultimate test.
Oh yeah.
That makes it worthwhile, right?
The best.
Sweet, huh?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
No, you taste one too. That's so good.
That's unbelievable.
That is so good.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're very thankful for the Lord for these beautiful blackberries, and we're thankful for you sticking with us for 3 years on this video, but we finally got through it for you. But anyway, I hope that this may inspire you to maybe throw up some blackberries around your property somewhere, because they're sure worth it.
And make your wife happy. Very happy.
Happy wife, happy life. If all it takes is a blackberry, by all means, plant them. But anyway, so I hope our video brought a smile to your face and some joy to your heart on this day. And said to me and Nancy, see you next time. We want to thank the Lord for these beautiful berries. By His hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day. Wow. Love it, love it, love it.